Jennifer stared at the smoking pan with the kind of resignation that only came from 6 months aboard an interstellar research vessel staffed entirely by aliens who considered her presence a fascinating anomaly. The protein synthesis unit had malfunctioned again, and she'd made the critical error of trying to prepare actual food using actual heat, a concept that baffled most species in the galactic concordance. "Human Jennifer," chirped Kevin from the doorway, his translator struggling with his native Valorian clicking sounds. "I detect combustion. Are you under attack?" Jennifer waved away the smoke, triggering the ventilation system. "No, Kevin, I'm cooking, or trying to." The young Valorian tilted his head, or what passed for a head on his sleek, furred body. He looked remarkably like what humans would call a large cat, if that cat stood on its hind legs, had 6 limbs, and possessed intelligence that rivaled any sentient species in known space. His silver-blue fur rippled with curiosity, and his large amber eyes widened. "Cooking," he repeated, testing the word. "The application of thermal energy to organic matter for consumption purposes." "Exactly." Jennifer scraped the charred remains of what was supposed to be a vegetable stir-fry into the disposal unit. "On Earth, we don't just synthesize nutrients. We actually prepare food. It's cultural, ceremonial even." Kevin's tail, long and expressive, swished with interest. As the youngest member of the vessel's crew at barely 20 cycles old, he possessed an insatiable curiosity about the strange human who joined their deep space expedition. "May I observe?" "Sure, but don't get your hopes up. I'm working with alien vegetables here, and I have no idea what I'm doing." What Jennifer didn't know was that her simple attempt at preparing a meal was about to become the most significant cultural exchange event in Concordance history. The galley, designed for species that consumed nutrient paste or absorbed energy directly, was woefully inadequate for actual cooking. But Jennifer had improvised, requisitioning heating elements, metal containers, and various edible plants from the hydroponics bay. She'd even managed to synthesize something resembling oil from the ship's organic recycler. As she chopped vegetables, or at least vegetable-adjacent organisms, Kevin watched with rapt attention. His nose twitched, processing sense that his evolutionary history had never prepared him for. "The Concordance has 14,000 member species," Kevin said, settling onto his haunches in a very cat-like manner. "In all recorded history, only humans apply controlled combustion to food before consumption. Why?" Jennifer paused, knife in hand. It was a good question. Cooking breaks down cellular structures, makes nutrients easier to absorb. It kills harmful bacteria. But honestly, it's about flavor, taste, the experience of eating, not just consuming nutrients. "Flavor," Kevin repeated, his translator adding a note of confusion. "You don't have that concept. Valorians detect nutritional composition through scent. We know if something is beneficial or harmful, but deriving pleasure from consumption." His ears flattened in what Jennifer had learned was the Valorian equivalent of a shrug. "This is strange." Jennifer grinned. "Well, prepare to have your mind blown, kitten." She'd meant it as a term of endearment, but Kevin's fur stood on end. "Kitten, I am a trained xenobiologist with 3 advanced degrees." Sorry, it's just you remind me of cats, earth animals, they're adorable." "I am not adorable, I am a fierce predator species." But his tail betrayed him, curling with pleasure at the compliment. The real chaos began when Kevin's siblings arrived. Jennifer had just successfully sautéed a batch of Proxima tubers, strange purple vegetables that smelled like cinnamon when cooked, when 2 more Valorians bounded into the galley. Literally bounded, moving with the fluid grace of their Earth counterparts. "Kevin," exclaimed Myra, his older sister, "you were supposed to be calibrating the—" She stopped mid-sentence, nose twitching violently. "What is that smell?" Beside her, their brother Thane's pupils dilated to huge black pools. Is the human creating aromatic compounds?" It's called cooking, Kevin said proudly, as if he'd invented the concept himself. Jennifer is applying thermal energy to plant matter. Both siblings approached the cooking station with the cautious curiosity of cats investigating a new box. Jennifer couldn't help but smile at the comparison. "Would you like to try some?" she offered, plating the tubers with some synthesized protein she'd seasoned with dried centauri herbs. The three Valorians exchanged glances, communicating in their native tongue, a series of chirps, clicks, and subsonic rumbles that made Jennifer's bones vibrate. "Is it safe?" Myra asked. "I'm eating it, aren't I?" Jennifer took a bite. The flavors weren't exactly Earth standard, but they were good, savory, slightly sweet with a peppery finish. "Oh wow, that's actually decent." Kevin was the first to approach, his scientific curiosity overriding his caution. He delicately sniffed the plate, then took the smallest possible bite. His reaction was immediate and dramatic. His fur fluffed out to twice its normal size, his tail shot straight up, and a deep, rumbling sound emerged from his chest. "Kevin," Myra rushed forward, "are you experiencing distress?" "He's purring," Jennifer said, delighted. "I think he likes it." Like, Kevin's eyes were glazed with wonder. There are no words in standard. The texture, the temperature variation, the complex molecular interactions on my sensory palate. He took another bite, larger this time. "This is extraordinary." That was all the encouragement Myra and Thane needed. Within moments, all three Valorians were hunched over the plate, making sounds that ranged from purrs to chirps to contented sighs. They looked exactly like Earth cats huddled around a food bowl. Okay, Jennifer laughed. "There's plenty, let me make more." Word spread through the ship with remarkable speed. By the time Jennifer had prepared her third batch of food, this time experimenting with a stew made from hydroponic vegetables and synthetic meat, the galley was packed. Not just with Valorians, but with representatives from a dozen species, all curious about the humans' bizarre cultural practice. But it was the Valorians who responded most dramatically. Something about their physiology, their highly developed sense of smell, their carnivorous ancestry, their neural pathways designed to assess prey, made them uniquely susceptible to the pleasures of cooked food. The ship's captain, a dignified Valorian named Elder Syrax, initially disapproved of the commotion. But when Kevin, respectful, rule-following Kevin, insisted she try a small sample, curiosity won out. Jennifer watched nervously as the elderly Valorian, her silver fur marked with age, took a single, delicate bite of the stew. The transformation was beautiful. Years seemed to fall away from Syrax's face as her eyes widened, her ears perked forward, and that telltale purr began. "By the void," she whispered, "in all my cycles I have never experienced." She looked at Jennifer with newfound respect. "Human, this is why your species survived, isn't it? Not just intelligence or technology, but this creation of experience from necessity." Jennifer hadn't thought about it that way, but the captain had a point. Humans had turned survival into art, nutrition into culture. "Maybe," Jennifer said softly, "we find joy in unexpected places. We make beauty from basic needs." Syrax took another bite, her dignified composure crumbling as she purred louder. "I believe I understand the human phrase, humanity, fuck yeah now. This is a fuck yeah moment." The improper language from the distinguished captain sent ripples of shock through the assembled aliens. Jennifer burst out laughing. By the end of the ship's cycle, the galley had been transformed into an unofficial cultural exchange center. Jennifer found herself teaching basic cooking techniques to a rapt audience, with the Valorian cubs, as she'd started thinking of Kevin, Myra, and Thane, appointing themselves as her official taste testers. "We are performing a valuable scientific service," Kevin insisted, his muzzle covered in sauce from Jennifer's latest experiment. "Quality control is essential for the safety of the crew." "You just want more food," Jennifer teased. That too, he admitted without shame, his tail swishing contentedly. Myra, meanwhile, had started taking notes, her scientific mind already cataloging flavor combinations and cooking techniques. Thane had discovered his love for anything with a crispy texture, leading to Jennifer's successful recreation of something resembling French fries. The three siblings had become her constant companions, their initial wariness transformed into genuine friendship. They reminded Jennifer of home in unexpected ways, not just because they looked like cats, but because they approached new experiences with the same mixture of caution and curiosity, dignity and playfulness. Jennifer, Kevin said one evening as they cleaned the galley together, before you came aboard, I thought I understood the galaxy. I had studied hundreds of species, thousands of cultures, but you've shown me that understanding facts is not the same as understanding experience. That's very profound, Kevin. I know I am very intelligent. He paused, grooming one paw in an unconsciously feline gesture. Also, are you making those crispy tuber sticks again tomorrow? Thane will be insufferable if you don't. Jennifer laughed, scratching behind his ears, a gesture he'd initially found undignified but now leaned into shamelessly. Only if you three promise to help with the prep work. We are taste testers, not laborers. Then I guess no crispy tuber sticks. We will help with the preparation, Kevin conceded immediately, his purr giving away his eagerness. The report that Captain Sirac sent to the Concordance Council created quite a stir. In it, she detailed how a simple human custom, cooking, had revolutionized their understanding of cultural bonding and sensory experience. She proposed a new field of study, experiential gastronomy. But more importantly, she noted that the human practice of cooking had done something unexpected. It had brought the crew together in ways that years of formal diplomatic protocols never had. Watching Jennifer prepare food, sharing meals together, discussing flavors and techniques, it had created bonds that transcended species. The Valorian cubs had announced themselves flavor testers, but they'd become something more, ambassadors of a new way of experiencing life. And Jennifer, she just wanted to cook a decent meal, but she'd accidentally started a revolution, one delicious bite at a time. As Kevin often said in his increasingly fond adoption of human phrases, humanity, fuck yeah. Though he usually said it with his mouth full, which Jennifer found absolutely adorable. Not that she'd tell him that again. The last time she'd called him adorable, he'd refused to speak to her for a whole hour. Well, 30 minutes. Okay, 10 minutes, but only because she'd made his favorite crispy tubers. Some things, it seemed, were universal across species.